Hello, this is Katie. Welcome back to my channel. We are going to be using Spook Up Some Fun by Simon Says Stamp. And I fell in love with this set because of this stamp. This is the third card in my Halloween card series. And I'll be using a mix of Copics and Spectrum Noir markers for coloring in this image. And there are just certain combos that I prefer in one brand over the other. I don't quite love the teal selection of Copic, even though I think I have enough to make it work. But the Spectrum Noir has a better teal or turquoise combination that I like better. So there's that, but then Spectrum Noir is not good with oranges, and Copic is very good with oranges. And then I use a mix of different grays from both Copic and Spectrum for this image. And so I wanted to stick with a kind of a teal. Part of the card is going to be purple, so there's going to be teal gray in this outfit here, and then purple going on in the card as well. I can't remember right now, and I'm using my phone to do this, so I can't check really quick, but in my Instagram post, I will tag the person whose card inspired my card that I'm making in this video. I'll be using a couple other stamp sets as well that I'll show you just for little pieces for the background on the card. What I was doing here was I thought I had mixed up like both lids on both ends or something, because I have AB3, AB2, and AB1 for this teal combo, and it's supposed to be 3 is the darkest, and then the next is 2, and then 1 is the lightest. But when I went to go use 1, it was almost like it was darker than 2. So I thought I had mixed them up, and I don't think I did, though, because I looked up at the chart, and some Spectrum Noir markers have this problem, is that some of them are actually pretty much the same color, even though they're in different families altogether. They could have different letters entirely and be pretty much the same color, or they could be right next to each other and kind of be just too similar to each other. So I'm just trying to create more shading here with AB3. And I think I just decided to stick with AB3 and AB2 because AB1 was kind of the same as AB2, which is why I thought I mixed them up. So maybe the lighting on my wall when I'm looking up at my chart is throwing me off, or these markers kind of just are the same. So I'm hoping that in coloring this, and I'm not losing too much of the kind of the shadows and the light. I'm using IG9 and I believe IG5 to do the dark gray half of this outfit. And then I don't do it on camera, but I cut out this image, and I just leave like a white bubble around it. But up at the top where her arms are cut off and the broom, I cut up against those lines so it doesn't look too, I don't know, like it went into nothingness. This set doesn't have dies yet. I don't know if I told you that already. But the Simon Says Stamp ones, the sets usually don't have dies right away. This one is in the Halloween kit, this stamp set, but I didn't want the rest of the kit, so I just bought the stamp set on its own, but it doesn't have dies yet. So I do cut around the image, and then I actually use an X-Acto knife for the triangle in between her legs, because I wanted more of my background that I create to show through. And then I'm choosing a couple Copic browns for the broom. I have a lot of different brown combos that I like. That E39 was a more recent marker that I purchased, or one of the more recent browns. And I couldn't find one of my light skin tone markers, so I ended up going with this combo instead. I believe that was E21 and E51. But her other hand was just too small to do any blending, so I just blended on the longer arm. And then just sticking with the gray and teal theme, I didn't want to have too many different colors going on in the outfit. And then I switched over to a W9 and a W7 for the hat and the boots. This is only sped up 2x, 2 times as fast. But I was going very carefully because I didn't want to end up coloring over the little yellow rivets or whatever you want to call them. And I wanted to make sure I was staying within the lines, and these had some pretty pointy corners, so I wanted to make sure. Also because I was cutting it out with a white bubble around it versus cutting up against the line, so I wouldn't have worried too much about coloring outside the lines if I wasn't going to leave the bubble around it. And then I'm just blending out here. So I use the same combo, the W9 and W7 on the hat, and then I use the same teal combo for the band on the hat. And while I'm finishing up this coloring, I'll just use the time to remind you that we have a 31-day video hop going on. I will again put the link in the description down below. It is in my last video as well, to my blog post where it is tracking each day and who it is and what they're making, and then a link. And to be in the prize drawing, you just have to leave a comment on each video. So it is going to be easier if you hop along with us each day. And if you're just now hearing about this, then you can catch up. It is the 15th, 16th. Today's the 16th. So you want to start from day 1. Make sure you are watching as well. I cannot verify that you are watching, but if there are more comments than views on the video, I can assume some people are not watching. So please watch the videos, even subscribe if you like the content of that creator. I am not mandating that you subscribe to the person in order to be in the drawing. Just comment on the video, because I can't force you to like everyone's content. And then about a week or so after the end of the month, just to give everyone time to go comment, I will check the very last video, which will be me on the 31st. And I will choose someone and make sure they commented on every video. And then there will be a prize. And we've got lots of goodies mixed in. Lawn Fawn Frosty Fairy Friends stamp set and the die set is in there. And then there will also be a $50 gift certificate to an online craft store, probably based in the US, and I haven't decided which one yet. So a little bit ago, I was just showing you the whole layout of the card setup. That is my plan. But then I am attaching teal paper with the sentiment, "You're So Bewitching," from the set onto the sparkly part. And then we're going to create the background. So I've already mounted up the moon and the 2 clouds from Which Way to the Candy. Which way is the candy? Which way to the candy? And then from Spooky Village, from Lawn Fawn, the little stars set. And then I'm just going to create kind of a random background assortment. Again, this part also is inspired by the card. I will tag, I'll tag her on my Instagram post. I can't remember. I know that her first name is Cat. Like the animal, it's C-A-T. It's cat_something on Instagram. But I'll tag her to let her know her card inspired mine. Then I realized I could probably go off the edge and have this be a little more interesting. I'm really bad at thinking outside the box, literally. And so sometimes I have to remind myself that I can stamp this way and do these things. And then I did the stars. I finished up with that and just kind of filled it in without overdoing it, hopefully, to create that background. And then I just grab an alcohol swab to wipe up my craft mat because of all the stamping that got all over it. Sorry, I didn't mean to sniff in your ear. And then I'm trying to put adhesive on the back of that, and I was trying to make sure that all the alcohol was like dry. So I kind of did it off to the side because I didn't want to get it all over the card. So I was throwing some adhesive on the back and then putting that onto the black card base. And then I'm just going to hold the image over to see about where that's going to be, so I know where to put my little sentiment banner strip. And then I will add adhesive to that. And I did pause while I was cutting out the image because I just don't think it's necessary. And also this would have been even longer. So I'm going to cut out the image, and then I'm actually using, I used an X-Acto knife to cut out between her legs. I was just pointing that out to you. And then I put foam tape on the back and peeled those all off. So I just showed you sticking it down. So that is the card. I did pause to go find my Wink of Stella pen because it was put away somewhere. And then I added some Wink of Stella to the teal parts, and that was the end of the card. So thank you for watching, and hopefully I have more Halloween videos coming soon and I have time for them. And I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.